Afternoon. How's it going, clubs? Welcome, everybody. We are starting on this screen because I realize that I have four, five, um, 6-star 1 to 2 gems expiring. So I need to rank a couple 6-stars. I think the goal here is mainly just focused on duels because I'm not likely to use any of them. So the question is kind of who do I take up for practice? I think Joaquin's probably worth doing so. I use him in duels, and I don't think I have smaller versions of a lot of the defenders that he'd be checking, so let's go ahead and do that. I won't take too long on this, don't worry. Cool, that's more of a dueling standpoint against 6-star rank 3s and 4s. Who else do I want to work with here? Captain Britain might be a good one to have, going the other way. I can use, like, 4 stars and such against her. My vanity champs. Yeah, I can see that. Trying to be a good war player here. Okay. Oh, Rhino's gonna come up. He might not ban her now, but per our conversation the other day, when he does come out as a 7-star, I'm gonna want to practice. Let's get that going now. I could see Werewolf. I could definitely see, actually, Nico has come up before. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, let's do Nico and Thanos. Those are kind of vanity picks, but they're useful enough that might as well. I love her level up animation. The staff thing, so cool. Found out partner incursions is way harder. Basically double the possible roadblocks, right? Yeah, exactly. Then I said Thanos, and I think that gets them out of overflow. Because I have wanted him ranked before, so this is good. I have a memory of. It would be funny if I did the partner incursions between my two accounts. Streamed both of them, had them plugged into to different parts of the capture card or something. I shouldn't do that. It would take too long, but cute idea. I didn't realize we got the boss down. Cool. Alright, couple wicked smart. Okay. And then we will get to Battlegrounds. Thank you all for the patience. Nothing important right now. Actually, hold on. Where am I? Yeah. I'm good on the... What day is it here? Ooh, I can't skip Sigstones. Alright, well. Time to show off my secret tech for these. Been loving DPX for raids? Yeah, North Star has been incredible. I took Gentle from 96% to 0 on the first set of revives. Like, never had a problem. Just every single fight was Special 3, Special 2. Special 3, Special 2. I am, Mo, yeah. I'm flying up next week a bit earlier before the fest, and the live stream's the main reason why. I'm looking forward to it. How's it going, Jay? Like, these quests go by fine on auto fight, don't get me wrong, but if I'm trying to get them done in a hurry, this is what I do every time. Ironheart was crazy good for raids. That's awesome. One second. Okay. I can understand that, Elijah. Hey, Marley. Easy. Get right into Battlegrounds in a second. Just speed running the dailies. Because Sigstones are precious. No, that's never happened, Blazy. You might just be confusing it with either another game, because I know that something similar happens in Magic the Gathering, and we've talked about that, or with people forfeiting. Self-awareness is always good, Clops. He is annoying. No, it was Viv's power drain being active for a while, Swarly. I think it was mainly Viv. It might have been Lumitrix. Or maybe it was just both. But that was all. Hey, Pablo, how's it going? If someone doesn't know how to fight her, as you ran into, then she can be worth putting in your deck even at low sig. I think as you get up, a rank 2 might not carry the same weight. But yeah, that is kind of her thing. I would like my Shang-Chi, please. Not gonna re-roll in Victory Track, but por favor. What if we just show you one decent skill attacker out of the 8 you have in your deck? How about that, huh? All right. I don't know how to respond to that, Pablo. I know Carolina can wipe that. I don't really have anything they can't wipe, though. Cool. I know, Elijah. Nice, Jay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Sure. I was expecting Carolina to be significantly faster than that. I know the special lock can mess her up, but I was expecting that to go better for our opponent. Cool. Um, Enchantress doesn't really slow people down. Like, yeah, this is just kind of the thing, isn't it? Oh yeah, she's immune, right? And yeah, I really thought that would go better. Weird. And here comes the special. Terrible. Alright. My bad. What? Did someone overtrust and evade? Hey, how's it going, Mike? Thank you for being a loyal member. Does Mole Man need high sig? No, it's generally something that, like... Oh, wait. I'm sorry, I just realized I put a message in the wrong chat. I will come right back to that. Okay, But yeah, Mole Man Sig is good if you are regularly taking fights where you are losing a bunch of health unavoidably, right? And so, like, if you're using Mole Man as a regular option for high tier war, then that very well might describe you. And then, yes, you probably want Mole Man at decently high sig. In Battlegrounds, in general questing use, anything like that, nah, don't bother. Do I know if there were any buffs between May and August 2025? So that would have been this year. Yeah, I guess Captain Britain was May. And then August was when everything shipped, so probably not. I think we can forgive that hiccup given that August had 9 kit updates. Should have just said July. Yeah, that maybe would have been the way to go. I think in this meta, Atuma might actually be really good for future Ant-Man. Yeah, no, I know. I recognize the combination of the member color and the profile picture. YouTube's apparently playing with us. They didn't ban my Shang-Chi, right? No, he's just been very shy this morning. Okay, well. It's fine. Expected, since I have Zemo. Train travel in America is pretty bad. There are a few places, but... Dang it. Okay, only special ones. Alright, this is what I get for being out of practice. That easily could have been 51-5, but... Tel Aviv. Yeah, Northeast isn't too bad. That's what I was thinking of as well. The first time I went up to Vancouver, after I got hired, I went to Portland first. I flew into Portland, spent some time with friends, visited Tillamook. Then we rented a car to drive to Seattle, visited some more friends, and then we took the Cascades up the coast, which was gorgeous. Highly recommend. Am I able to answer a question about matchmaking? Maybe. What's up, Bleedy? I think that makes sense. You can definitely do that fight faster, but yeah. I wonder if they pushed her to Special 3 and just paused, though. That looks like it could be a pause. I think it's your mind playing tricks, Bleezy. I don't, as far as I know, we don't have any kind of like the in okay, well now I gotta try it. Sorry, I'll come back to that in a second. Dumbest hitboxes in the north. Okay. That could be improved further, but that's exactly how I was hoping that would go. To fully explain the idea here, even if Ant-Man gets into Surging Swarm, you should be fine to do full combos, because the worst thing that can happen is he can stun you on your combo ender, and then that's just a free conversion where you don't have to go for a heavy. Yeah, definitely a good one. Yeah, Klobs is cutting or is covering the basics, but I'm also just saying like I in the gladiator circuit, your rating is what's referred to as an ELO. Which is kind of a rating of how good you are, right? But as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure I know this, we only have the one visible ELO. Where there's not like one in the background that's checking if you're on a hot streak or a cold streak and trying to adjust. I know there are other games where people suspect that happens, and they might be right. Um, like I know that in Magic the Gathering, for example, there is a well-known thing where like when you're playing Brawl, the online version of Commander, based on who your commander is, um, that can change things, like who you go up against, but we don't have that. So if you feel like you're running into that, it should just be confirmation bias. Yeah, train through the Alps would be nice. In I haven't been to Europe in 10 years. That's not true. I was in the UK just recently. I haven't been to mainland Europe in 10 years. But the last time I was there, we did take trains from Berlin to Vienna and then from Vienna down to Milan. And that was really pretty. Would highly recommend. Okay, that's better. Y'all are closer to a continent than a country. Absolutely. And like that is the thing that's normally floated for like why we don't have more, like why it's not easy to do rail. But it's not that hard. Like if it makes sense to build a train that goes from Vienna around the mountains, through the mountains, across several national borders, down to Milan, then it also makes sense to build a train that goes from Dallas to Houston. Like, I'm pretty sure there are more people in those two cities. It just, ugh. It's the addiction to cars, it's lobbying, it's just, it's not in our culture. And there are a bunch of people with vested interests for keeping it out of our culture. Yeah, no, I do like trains. I wish we had a lot more, and I wish we had more light rail too. Like when I was living in LA, they were expanding that, and that's nice. Every time I go to Vancouver, it's nice. In downtown Houston, there is technically light rail, but there's like your options are so limited. Noted, Mike. The last time I was in the UK, we had a relatively strict schedule, but it was a lovely trip. That was the one where I did London, and then we took the train, up to Edinburgh. Then we rented a car, went to Inverness, Aberlour, and Aberdeen before coming back to Edinburgh, and then we took the train back to London for the end of the for the trip, and then flew home. It was lovely. I'm not even sure it's true that Americans like to drive, Bleezy. I think you could say it's part of our identity that we drive, but that's not the same thing. I don't enjoy road rage. I have options for Maestro, but few enough that it's probably smart to ban him. Yeah, exactly. Our cargo trains are solid. How would you get to the station by car? Or we could build bus routes. like, or smaller trains. Uh, this stuff triggers me because, like, you're right. There are logistical problems to be solved, but America already builds so many massive parking garages to facilitate our driving addiction that, like, it would not be that, excuse me, that difficult to just also sorry, brain not working. It would not be that difficult to build parking garages next to train stations so that you could drive to the train stations and then go somewhere, right? Like, if I could take a train to Dallas and on the other side there was a bus that went to just 2 or 3 walkable districts, doesn't even have to be the whole city, then I can go up there for tourism purposes, maybe meet some friends who have cars and drive in to see me, and then I can come back, right? And that's all that's necessary. And that would be nice. Yeah, exactly. How about we spend that money and more on building out a highway, which not only costs an incredible amount of money, but also makes the congestion worse as we go, causes crashes, kills people. I know that construction would also happen with trains, but just like I'm so over this. Yeah, we call them park and rides down here too. There is one down into Houston. My wife is planning on she'll have to go into work twice a week when she starts soon, and she's planning on taking the car those 2 days, but only driving like a mile and a half to the park and ride, and then taking that down because it drops her off right outside her office building. That also could have been faster. Yeah, like our population density, I understand the problem, but it's like that's why you don't necessarily need to set up commuter trains that stop at every small town in between Houston and Dallas. Just do like hub to hub. And then you build out things like bus lines based around those hubs. You spiderweb out smaller, lighter rail. Like, it's a problem to be solved, but it's one that's worth solving. Yeah, I'm going to be on at least one panel during the fest. I'm also doing a bit of commentating. I think one of the quarterfinals. And I just realized I should probably shut up because that might be something that they want to announce, so I won't finish that sentence. But yeah, I'll be doing some commentating as well as at least one panel. Rank 4, Shang-Chi. I know they'll get through him fine, but so will I. Absolutely. Like, I can't see myself ever getting to a spot where I wouldn't want a car. Like, even when I was in LA, I took the train every chance I could get. I took it downtown to see concerts, to like go on dates, that kind of thing. It was great. And I took some buses sometimes, but I still wished that I had had a car while I was there because there were gigs that I had to not take because there wasn't an efficient way to get there via the mass transportation. And I can't imagine that changing in any of the US's major cities in my lifetime. Like, people will still want cars, will still use our freeways. There will still be money to be made both in the cars and in the gasoline. But like, yeah. I live in Houston where we are literally currently expanding a like 10-lane highway in probably 3 or 4 different spots simultaneously. And there's just, at some point, you have to realize it's an exercise in futility. And it feels like most people do. And they're just like, yeah, this is definitely dumb. We all think this is dumb. But, the alternative would just be too hard. It's going to stay too hard if we don't start working on it. They announced the panels already? Cool. I more meant they might want to announce who's commenting what, updating. Oh God, are people saying that, Elijah? I, I'm not gonna go on. I've caught myself on those rants before, but that's, if that is what people are saying, then that's silly for a lot of reasons. Okay, when's the next? Okay, there's the next profile pic. I like that one. Okay, so 7 more days. I'm just planning out a little bit. 1 second. So, in between now and when Paviter is available, that's roughly 10 days-ish. So let's go forward from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're around 45. There's probably going to be another mini booster. Let's just say 1 in there. So then that puts us at 47. And then if I want to get him on launch day, I'm sure he's probably at 90, right? That's a cool one too. I like that profile pic. 84. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. Okay, so real quick, 84 minus 47 divided by... Okay, so I will potentially need to buy 5 more weeks of boosters. I'm willing to do that for him, absolutely. Oops. I absolutely think fewer cars would be needed, which sounds amazing because if anybody lives in the US right now and has looked at the prices of even used cars, it's not great. Kind of a rough spot. Familiar with Conroe. I technically live in Conroe now. So yes. I saw it on YouTube, so I know it's true. Okay, all serious. Are people actually saying that? Love my 21 Honda Civic. Yeah, I had an Accord for a long time. Really liked it. It was a hand-me-down from my dad, not hiding that. So I didn't pay for it. But by the time I got it, it already had like 120,000 miles on it or something insane. Great car, though. Unfortunately, I got into an accident driving on some ice, and I think this is okay. And did about $2,000 worth of damage to the car, which was enough to total it, because that's how totaling works, which I found out at the age of 25 or whatever. So now I've got a CRV. And yeah, I also feel like I got lucky because if the car that I had broken down after the pandemic, I would have been out a lot more money because it that happened right before the pandemic. And so I paid pretty much full price for a new CRV, but it was um, right before everything got hugely expensive. I'm very, very happy with my car. Kind of to our earlier point, cars are definitely a part of Americans' identities, but like we just don't have to be as much. I don't think I really have great defenders here. They might not either, in fairness, but yeah, I was gonna say that Zola seems a little bit problematic. Hey, TC. Yeah, I get that, Elijah. I know it's tough for people to come out. No! Really? His heavy's faster than mine? Okay, well that sucks. Yeah, that's fine. That was not going to go well. Let him have it. Oh, that's so stupid that his heavy is actually faster, even rooted. Oh, well. Guess that's what I get for not taking Viv over Shocker, because that would have gone better. I should have done that. I could have won that one if it had been her. That's okay. We still have a chance here. Yeah, me too, clubs. Oh no. Bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. I was so proud of myself for, like, the first way I handled reverse controls, and then my brain was just like, mission accomplished. I'm gonna go out for a break. No, come back. I still need you. No, you're probably right, Neo's. Like, I should have hit in once and then gone for it, but... I mean, she is tanky, but that was 100% my fault. I think the weakness was on me, which hurts, and then also I lost 50 charges because of the auto block. The heavy would have killed just fine otherwise. Rank 4 Shocker's great. I'm happy to have him. I still think he gets good use. I mean, I don't know what, like, the Celestial people are saying, but, like, for me, he's in most metas. Hey, Grom, how's it going, man? Do it. You know you want to. Thank you. I should have been more aggressive. I forgot that last time I didn't even need the special 2. It's just so many debuffs. Hey, Smoker, welcome. Apologies, I don't recognize your handle at the moment. Because YouTube changed things to use handles instead of the names you had set. So if you want to let me know who you are, I can call you something else. Waiting on boss to be open. Is that on me or? No, I don't think it's on me. But now I'm checking. I guess if Sim has moved, it might be. Yes, Shanghai's like an absolute freight train here. It's a good kill by our opponent, though. I literally bought a tablet because of Jean on phone. My thumbs covered her call out. Oh, that makes me feel bad. But I hope you're enjoying the tablet. Ah, gotcha, Crom. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Not necessarily done yet. Let me use the restroom. See y'all in a sec. Hey, Leroy, it's been a bit. Hope you're doing well. Oh, whoa, that is... You're a little behind on chat there. Stream elements. Hopefully it catches up. Does let me play while the stream's on my phone. Yeah, I've done that before too. Technically, you can do the picture-in-picture thing, but there's like no good place to put it when you're trying to play MCOC. I love the rank 2 Shang-Chi. I respect it. Think I have enough solo counters? Should probably be using him if I'm not. Oh, yeah, okay. In that context, I immediately recognize your profile pic. They just are rather small for me. But yeah, YouTube's having fun. I don't know, man. Alright, let's get those two locked in. That's two of my best attackers possible, and now I need to make sure I draft some defenders. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Cool, that works for me. That's absolutely insane DPS for Chiels, only landing a single heavy counter. I wonder what that Gallon fight looks like. Like, do they just pause? I don't think Nefaria has the tools. Like, because you'd probably just be spamming Special 1 for the power refund to hope you stay ahead. Kind of using him as a pseudo-mystic. Yeah. They did okay, though. That's probably like 2 harvests and then getting caught while unstoppable, maybe. I think I use Gentle on defense here. I am very excited, Leroy. Okay, I think our opponent wants to lose. Yep, they want to lose. Nah, I get good results out of my skill champions in other metas. This meta is juicing them to a pretty insane degree, but like, people are too harsh on them. But yeah, I think you missed me earlier, Leroy, counting through the double track to figure out how many boosters I was gonna have to buy to get Paviter day 1. I'm sitting on all of the catalysts for him to go straight to rank 4. Can't get him to Sig 200 right away. Or at least I don't think I can. 1 second. 4 is kind of the break-even point, or the inflection point before the prices really start going up there. So give me a second. Cool, no 7s. Mystics. Okay, 2 Mystics. Okay, so we have between class and saga, that's about 40 levels. Yeah, because 13 plus 25, just short of 40, and then 90. So I can get him to like 135. Or sorry, about 125. And we go from there. I'll take it for now. I was about to say so he won't be in my prestige right away, but that's not how that works anymore. And then are there more sources of Saga Stones in here somewhere? Okay, not there. So that's where I just was. Okay, if we go way up here, then that's another 15. On average, maybe 16 or 17. There we go. I knew there was something. So 10 more, 20 more. But I'm probably not gonna... I mean, I'm not gonna wait for these to use those on him. But the Sig Stones might still come in handy. I'll get there. For me, it was, I think, I already bought 2 boosters. I think I'm going to need to buy another 5. Hmm. Vita's Gem versus Kushala's. That's going to be up to you. I do think both of them will be playable without it, as is the usual. Vita arguably gets a little bit more. Like, Kushala, I think, gets more... whatever, I'm being vague enough, I don't care. Kushala gets a bit more quality of life, but Paviter gets a bit more, like, additional utility, so it's... When you see what the actual kit is, you'll have to weigh those against each other. Take care, TC. Shiny Drac. Nice. I would love to pick up Zemo. I think I need to do this first. I mean, that's kind of always been how it is. Kushala has a Sig 1 benefit as well. I don't know. I should have 1 skill attacker. They're not really giving me good targets for him, but... mean, we know what's going to happen here, so let's get that out of the way. Nico's at 10 paces.
What the heck? Sorry, my mind just kind of broke there at him getting up and then catching me on my dash back with his medium. Okay, well, I guess I lose this one. Pity. Seven boosters bought. Appreciate you, Grom. Like, me dexing the special 2 was 100% my fault. That was just me panicking a little bit. I still don't know exactly what happened with that medium. Weird. Oh no, Pablo. I saw someone else deciding late, and I was worried about the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. You can send a support ticket. I imagine there's nothing to be done there, but I really wish that, like, we had all of those FAQs and stuff explaining the cure event as well as we could. I know that Live Ops generally did a good job there, but I think one of the things that they should have done was, like, you have this long to decide. Pick one and go. It's a pity. Yeah, no, I know. I know. Like, it is a little bit your fault, but it is also a little bit, like... That's always the problem with event design, right? Is that you assume that players are going to do roughly what you intend them to do, and... You, like, should design a little bit outside of that, but also... Yeah, it's a tough one. What is going on with my parries? Maybe I'm just hungry. I need to reboot my device. I don't know. I feel like I'm just not playing well now. There's like a noticeable drop off over these last couple. Hey, man. I don't I don't know who's commentating. Oh, no, wait. I do know who's commentating the AFKO matches. It'll be fun. I will admit I've already seen a few of them. I will not share any insights from those. But, like, the few I saw were interesting enough and surprising enough to immediately convince me that the whole event was going to be a blast. And so I'm glad that the people actually commentating them have not seen any of them. It's going to be cool. I'll do one more Klops, but we're definitely coming up on the end here. Yeah, I hear you there, Pablo. I want another 7-star. Yeah, I do have a lot of sympathy for event design because it really does feel like it is difficult to thread the needle. My suspicion is that like that. My suspicion is that like even though making things simpler is and has been a goal for us, like I've seen some YouTubers be like, why can they just not make it simple? We keep asking for the same thing. And like I know for a fact they're trying. I think the reason for the difficulty is probably because it's just difficult to like keep yourself ignorant. And I mean ignorant and not dumb as you are designing things, right? Um, and what I mean by that is that, like, using my own frame of reference, when I test boss fights, right? So, like, Glycon, Ares, Nameless Grandmaster, in all of those fights, I have to remember that, like, I am probably starting above where many players are simply because I'm actually going to read the kit. I have a better chance of understanding it. But then as we go, by the time I'm at the end of a single 1 hour playtest, I may have already had more exposure to the boss than a lot of players ever will. And so that makes, like, when I'm trying to discuss with the designer how easy it is to learn mechanics or how easy it is to learn to execute a special dex or something like that, I constantly have to basically like weigh those against myself. It's like, okay, really, how easy is this to learn? How many times does it take if I've never seen it before? I may be getting it down now. Is that enough? How quickly did I get it down? If I change it and then like we add something else to it and I imagine I've never seen it before, do I think that would help me learn it faster or more slowly? And like yeah, that's part of the challenge of testing bosses, right? I don't want to fully sidetrack, but my point is that I think event design has some of the same, where it's like you can feel like the event is very simple or is simple enough to still be interesting, to touch on Neos's thing, right? Because it can't actually be like log in every day and get your thing. That's not an event design, that's a calendar. So it needs to be north of that. But I think the problem is that if you're trying to make it interesting, then you can think it's simple enough because you're talking to other people and you're like explaining what the design is verbally in like a quick pitch. It's like, so here's what the design is. Basically, you do this and then you do this and then you do this. And maybe you have a slide. And like if everybody had the cure event explained to them as like 2 minutes of voiceover over a couple slides, probably would have been clear. The problem is that you need to take an event that is very simple and straightforward in your head. Um, and then you need to like bring in somebody who's never seen it before and show them a single paragraph and figure out what they don't get, right? And then yeah, you basically need like and I know they do these passes, right? But I think we that's still something where we're trying to improve as a team is accounting for like what if you weren't here last month? Like what if you got that you were here last month, you got that mail and you just never clicked on anything in it, right? Like what if you didn't engage? Not because you're stupid or because you like were trying to be difficult, but just what if you were busy or didn't notice something? Then how does the event play out? And I know that they try and take that into account. They actively try very hard because I see them discussing it every month. But that is like always something to keep working on, is kind of my point. Yeah, it's very difficult to like people always say put yourself in other people's shoes and that's how you understand things. Okay, but what if you have to put yourself in like eight different sets of shoes at the same time as you are trying to iterate on something? And that is the job. I'm not saying that like that's not the standard that they should aspire to, but it's just it's tough. And so I understand when things get missed. The number one question people had in my alliance was, "Am I infected?" Yeah, I can completely understand that. Yeah, so Mo, the fastest thing is that if you were testing it in a vanilla matchup against somebody who didn't have energy resistance, then energy penetration doesn't matter, right? Energy penetration ignores a percentage of the opponent's, or not an amount of the opponent's positive energy resistance. And so it doesn't do anything if the opponent doesn't have energy resistance. So like using that relic when fighting Guardian, you should absolutely or oh, actually you said Brit. So like Captain Britain, she also does something similar where she just reduces or she messes with the opponent's energy resistance. So she may just be a bad combo, right? Because if you have a max sig Captain Britain, then she's basically already doing what the relics would want you to. So that may just be a non-bow. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay. Going downstairs and taking a Zyrtec. Yeah, exactly, Min. Like it's that's another thing that the team as a whole is looking at is like trying to space out events better. But yeah, it's just it's so difficult. I have a lot of sympathy for live ops here because it's very difficult to like plan out, okay, over the next 3 months we're going to have these 10 events and each of them is going to like start in these places and they're going to be like clear and contained. But then as you're iterating, you decide that this one actually needs to be slightly more complex and that this one is actually going to work better if it runs for 2 weeks instead of one. And this one over here, like you get what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah, you may plan out the events so that they don't conflict with each other, but then actually designing them and iterating on them and then checking back in and making sure that they don't conflict with each other, even if you're somebody who has never seen any of the stuff on them before, is a high bar. Yeah. I do think they're going to get better over time because it is a real focus for them, right? Like every time I hear the live ops people talk about this, like they are going, okay, the technical side of this worked. This was good. This wasn't. Like this, there's constantly learnings. Oh wait, I'm at 64. That just happened, huh? There was no pop-up for it? Do I have to restart the game? Yeah, exactly, man. And like our events and objectives page, like this thing, I know people didn't like it when it happened. I do think it is a lot better these days, but it still could be better, right? Like, yeah, there's plenty of things that could be improved on this. Like personally, just looking at this one, I see that two of these events are ending in 4 days, and one is ending in 10 or 11. Like, I would like the ones that are ending soon to be at the top, even though I know the other ones are older, just so that, like, I'm constantly focused on, okay, what goes away first? Yeah, and maybe they need, like, tags or better categories. Like, right now, the categories they're in of, like, Alliance, Realm, Solo, all of that makes sense. We should keep that. But there should also be something like tying appetite contests to the realm event for hunger. Like both of those should say like infected colon, right? So it's obviously the artwork links them, but there should probably be something else too. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. Go into any quest. Okay. Tag is an affront to God. Cool. I actually clicked through that too quickly. I don't even know everything I got, but whatever. Level 64. Cool. I'll let this run later. That's a good idea as well, Easy. Like, the how to get points is nice. But there should probably be, like, a third tab here that just goes directly to the website. Yeah. Trophy token cap increase and energy increase. Nice. Yeah. I will write that post in a second here. But yeah, I think I'm going to sign off first. I can tell I'm fading. I need some food. Do I think there will be pool 2 relic crystals for units like last time? I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a thing that keeps you on the right side of the dirt? I'm allergic to cats, so naturally we have two. Oh, God. Anyway, good luck, Pablo. Um, yeah, I hope your stuff gets sorted. Yeah, and that's tough, easy. Like it's difficult feedback for a designer like the for the event to hear because I know that they made the information available, but we can still do a better job linking it in the right places. I think that's what you said there is a good piece of feedback.